We're here with Artis, aka the A Train. Is that right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
We're out here in southern sunny LA at a gala, and we just found out we're actually neighbors over in Jacksonville.
Yeah,
And
close.
very
But
close.
you talk about the executives live on your side of town.
We're over in the Ponte Vedra side, and then he's up by where all the shopping is.
Yeah.
Is that up there?
Across the intercoastal waterways, that's what they call it.
Yeah, the intercoastal runs all the way up there.
Yeah, right.
And so you're on the opposite, right over the river, if you will.
Absolutely, that's right.
Very nice, man. And how long have you lived in Jacksonville?
Probably about the last 30 years since my departure from San Antonio.
Right.
After my retirement, actually, from basketball, then a transition period.
Now, what took you back to Jacksonville? Was it because you played ball there, coming up?
Yes. After the success during my collegiate years, then I thought that would be a great location to return to, to raise my family and just get involved in the community and be a part of Jacksonville.
So let's back up a little bit if we can, Art. Tell me, growing up, what was it like? Did you grow up in a poor family, a split home? Did you grow up in a wealthy family, middle class? Where did Art come from?
Poor came on, knocked on our door, and had to run away.
He said not interested.
I listened to Warren Moon early on talk about his family and his mother.
Yeah.
Just a tremendous leader in the family. And certainly my mother and father were together, but there was like 9 kids in the family. And we really, back in the 50s, tough times in the country as well as in a community like the one that I grew up in. 9
brothers and sisters.
Yes.
And where do you rank at?
Second.
Number
2.
You're number 2 at the top up there.
Yeah.
And now, were they all athletic, or did you get the most of the gene of the athletic pool?
Yeah, I sneaked one in on them.
You did.
Out of all the kids, I happened to be the one. My youngest brother played a little bit. He had a really nice collegiate career, and actually I had 2 brothers who have pretty good collegiate years. But my younger brother played for Florida State. Under my former coach and Joe Williams, and I don't know if that was a difficult challenge for him, and so he struggled a little bit in that environment. But I took all the genes, the basketball.
You stuck it out of all of them and took it all.
Yeah.
Now, what made you go towards basketball? Did you play other sports growing up, or just basketball?
Well, I actually had a desire to play other sports, but in the all black schools, segregation and time, that the schools did not have the funding to support any type of a program for kids, and if you're struggling in a struggling environment in the family, you're dealing with even more so of a challenge. So, the answer to the story is basketball. Just happened to be there because that was the less that financed that.
Expensive. It was at least expensive to kind of play. Basically, was basketball. Where did you notice that you were better? Was there ever a point where you kind of noticed that, wait a second, I'm actually really good when you were in high school? Was there ever a point you noticed that you were just kind of better than the other people in high school, or did you just not notice that the talent level that you had? Where would you say?
Well, I think that particularly arrived from fear.
Ooh.
And so I have to tell you the story about this fear. So we would always return home from school, and there was this group of kids. They were really the tough kids. Half of the time they was in school, and half of the time they were there at the end of this block waiting to throw objects at
And the kids leaving school?
Yeah, so we would get to that location, and in fact, this is where the fear come in, and you could hear the voices behind the bush.
Yeah, the bushes and the fence.
And the fence, and they would say, "Here they come, here they come." So.
Now, how old were you? Give me an idea. What grade? Grade school or high school?
Yeah, middle school.
Middle school, okay.
I was, if you want to call it
middle school. So 6th, 7th, 8th grade, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right in that category.
All right.
So I would get to this particular point, and then I would just start accelerating. I mean, at really a really fast pace. And so, but the funny part came in where my aunt was sitting on the porch up the street at her location. I had to go past her home, and she says, "Wow, I was working." She's of course doing the old thing, the snuff, and
snuff, yeah.
And so she says, "I watched you come by, and then about a couple of minutes after I had spit some snuff out, I noticed your shadow was fighting just to catch up." So that part, we talk about fear.
Yeah.
I mean, I fear. And then I started developing that fear of turning it into something positive, which was an opportunity to meet other challenges. And for me, it happened to be basketball.
Yeah. So you kind of use that fear as motivation to motivate you through basketball?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow. What was it when you were growing? What made you choose to go to Jacksonville University? Was something that made you choose that, or did you have other options, or is that just where you ended up going?
Yes. After attending a junior JUCO for a couple of years, I made the decision I wanted to come back to Florida because my parents was beginning to turn into seniors.
Sure.
And so I wanted to be closer and near home.
So that's what drove you to Jacksonville University.
To return to Jacksonville, yes.
Now, when you made it to the NBA, and you started, if my memory serves right, with the Bulls.
No, actually, the ABA, before the merger, I started with the Kentucky Colonels.
Okay, the Colonels, the Kentucky Colonels.
Yes, and we won a championship in 1975 and 76. They played one additional year, and then the league merged with the four expansion ABA teams.
Yeah. What was it like winning the championship with the Colonels?
Fantastic. One of the greatest points in my life.
And you said it was What year did you win it?
75.
75.
1975. I know you wasn't even thought about it.
But my question to you was, in 1975, even when I just said it, like ask you the question, what was it like? You got a little smirk on your face, a little smile. I'm assuming it's because like the memories kind of rush back of what was like being in the locker room and on the court that night. Did it all kind of come back? Yeah.
Boy, it's pretty incredible too, because I was thinking about my babysitter at home at my house, and it was a power surge after the end of the championship game, and the power went out. There was a thunderstorm, and actually, when after the celebration, their short celebration there in the arena, then rushing home and finding my young baby
no power.
Yeah, no power, and the young lady lit up a candle, and my young baby girl got a little bit of a hair burn. And so
wow,
it was all within that celebration of 1975 championship. Yeah.
Let me ask you this: what's an achievement that you accomplished in your life that maybe the people that follow you, the fans that watch you play, that maybe they didn't even recognize it as much, but it's one of the favorite things that you were able to achieve as a person? What was an achievement that's one of your favorite achievements that you were able to accomplish?
I've heard so many answers to this, but I think right now, I was listening to Warren Moon and the way he talked about his family.
Yeah.
And you mentioned one of the greatest accomplishments, making it to the Hall of Fame and being a part of those fantastic, successful things. But it always reflects back to family.
Family.
And I think about my daughter, that particular my first daughter, and in fact I had 3 girls, and I lost one of my daughters about a year ago.
Wow.
And so, but it's always reflected back. It's talking about family.
Family.
Yeah.
The biggest achievement
The
is
greatest accomplishment. Now I got 3 grandkids.
yeah.
But my daughter that I lost, these are her kids.
Wow.
And
Wow.
there's a set of twins, boy and a girl.
Yeah.
And
How old are they?
12 years
12
old.
years old.
And
Wow.
8-year-old, and my twin boy, he's a special needs child.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
So
Have you kind of stepped back in the role as
grandfather.
grandfather,
father,
dad, almost to a certain degree?
Supportive. Yeah.
Supportive. Yeah.
But the greatest accomplishment in my life is always going to be family.
Family.
And I think most anybody that you speak to, that would be the top of their list.
Let me ask you this question: I know you have 3 girls. When I say the word father, what does it mean to you? What does that mean to you, father? Being a father.
Accepting responsibility whenever it permits itself.
Accepting responsibility.
Accepting responsibility.
Yeah. It's like accepting responsibility of another human that you brought into the world.
Yeah.
And you got to accept responsibility of that. Of the good, the bad, the ugly.
The good, bad, and ugly.
Yeah.
And certainly you get a combination, and especially if you have, I have 5 kids of my own.
Yeah.
And my wife and I, we talked about the early times that we had 4, and then my youngest is 25 years old. Can you imagine that? This surprise package came along, and we was trying to figure out, what's up? How did we send this guy back? But now he's 25 and he's part of that fascinating part of life.
Yeah, sure.
History, the transition of
like generations.
Generations
Yeah.
of family. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Let me ask you this last question I have for basketball with you. What was the achievement in basketball that meant the most to you, just wrapped up inside of basketball?
Within the game of basketball itself, I think the experience of a lifetime learning. It was always a learning
Wow.
experience, something that's happened, developing, and you look and you watch young players players of high caliber and how their success, and the joy is that they talk about how they've overcome certain obstacles.
I think it's amazing that we talk about, when I asked you the question, what was your favorite achievement in basketball? It wasn't about winning. It wasn't about a championship or a great shot or a dunk or a block being centered that you had. It was about the learning experience, is what you mentioned. The continual learning of the game and of life and of teammates and so forth.
Yes. And being able to put all of that together, continue to work, but it's continuing. It's always evolving. It's a educational learning experience. The life within the game of basketball.
Last question I got for you. before you end with our final question, teamwork. One thing I love about sports, and even in business, right? Inside of business, teamwork is very, very important. And you learn, even in high school sports and youth sports, you learn the ability of teamwork. What does teamwork mean to you?
And jokingly, you've heard so many times that there's no I in team.
Yeah,
and
sure.
So we've been able to watch and observe these generations of athletes work as a team, and the ones that have this kind of success
Yeah,
is they're able to work together
as a team.
and I think about over the years and watching so many great players being put together, but the most successful ones are whenever they are able to work together
Yeah.
as a unit.
Wow.
Which is one.
Yeah, it's all combined as one, pulling the same rope. Last question I have for your artists is, we always ask the I am me question, which is, when it's all said and done, when life is all over and we move on, what is one word that you'd want people to remember Art, Big A, the A Train, about? What would you want them to remember, you ask?
An individual who cared for family.
Family.
And sometimes that includes the
community,
entire community.
Yeah.
So I want to be remembered as an individual was able to make a difference in the community.
I love it, man. I love it. And I love that you tied family just not to your own personal family, but to your community as well. And
absolutely.
And tied it all together into it. Hey, you do come from a big family, so it does make sense why you tie the whole community into it as well. All right. You got a big heart, man. Great. I appreciate the interview. Wonderful job. Thank you so much.
Indeed.
Thank you, Art.
Thank you.
Thank you.